that people are very happy to be here. There's a certain warmth, there's a certain openness where people just want to connect and say hello and greet each other and just find out who's doing what and whatever. So, and I think for me, it's almost the very beginning. I feel like there's so many more people that I'm hoping to see as the weekend goes by. So, definitely the beginning of the whole process of the whole weekend for me.
A lot of people told me welcome to the Penn family when I started, but I can feel that being here, meeting people who graduated maybe 20 or 30 years ago, and other recent alums like myself, and it's been incredibly good for me to build that relationship with Penn.
I think there's a general sense of celebration, and I think something that the underlying excitement it shows with how big and how grand this whole thing is.
It's excellent. It's very inclusive. It's dynamic. It's honest.
Well, it's very collegial and it's wonderful to see everyone. It's good to see familiar faces, some that I've seen more recently and then some I haven't seen since college days. So it's just really great to see everyone all in one place and just to, I guess, relive and the discussions that were so active during our undergraduate years, and then also to to see how things have changed and how some things have stayed the same. It's just a great atmosphere.
The atmosphere for me has been fantastic. It's been a great experience to see how the university has really grown.
It's been festive. It's been wonderful to see how many older alumni have come back that haven't been on campus for decades, and now they're very energized to know that their voices are being heard.
I would say even several weeks leading to the event, speaking to several undergrads, and they're like, hey, there's this groundbreaking event that's never been held at Penn, around multiculturalism, diversity. We're involved, graduate students are going to be involved, professors are going to be involved, alumni are going to be involved.
I think there's just this great feeling of community across all the different groups. So I think that it's wonderful for groups from a particular ethnicity or for the LGBT community to be able to come together and see others like them. But even more so, I think there's this great feeling of community across all the different groups and the allies as well.
It's delightful. I think it's both celebratory, where Penn is now in comparison to where it was then, as well as visionary. How much more further do we need to go? And I think there's a great acknowledgement on the part of the administration that while we can celebrate our achievements, we nevertheless have to continue to be serious about building on that so that we can, be more inclusive.
And now there's a lot of networking going on. And it's not just about the typical professional networking, here's my card, let's do lunch. It's more about your personal experience has touched me, and I see some of myself in you, and let's just stay in touch. Let's expand this Penn experience to beyond my undergrad years or my grad years to something that's much more tangible and long lasting. And so that's been really, really encouraging, just to see those random conversations turn into real relationships between alumni of different era or alumni of different backgrounds.
Because since it's been harder to get into Penn, what you get is the very best, and the very best comes in all different colors and sizes, and you get a spectrum of that here at this conference, and you get to see people doing the same type of thing that you're doing, and network with people. How did you do with this issue? How did you do with that?
So you get the present, but you also get, here's the backstory, here's the origins, and so it's nice to see that connection across generational lines.
People seem really excited to be here, especially the people who graduated a long time ago. I think they're excited to see the changes that are happening, and it's been a lot of fun.
It's just phenomenal. I can't believe it, because I was here in the 1980s as a grad student, and it was very, very different.
There is an infrastructure of success that was not in place in 1977 when I walked onto this campus.
There are folks from generations before mine and even around my time at Penn who didn't have the best experience. So it's really good for them to hear how things have changed at every level at Penn. And then for those of us who have had good experiences at Penn, it's nice to see that it's just vocalized. It's not just sort of there, but it's actually something that Penn is so proud of and talks about all the time.
I think the one thing that I really was shocked about was that people of the older generation didn't really enjoy the Penn experience. Because my experience at Penn was amazing.
And I could see today where students who would graduate now would have a better feeling about their institution, about their campus, than I did when I graduated.
It's a different world. It's very exciting, and as I've mentioned to some others, as an undergrad, I did not like Penn very much, but now that I hear what's going on, I'm becoming a big fan again. So it's great. Really enjoy it.
I like Penn. Okay, and it's kind of interesting that I would say that because 2 years ago I would not have said that.
Because for 7 years I've been invited back to different events, but this kind of hit a nerve with me. So I came back to the Penn Spectrum. First time I've been back since I graduated to Penn, and man, it's been worthwhile.
I feel very, very good about Penn. I have contributed over the years financially to the Alumni Association, but I think as a result of this, I may make more of a financial commitment, and I also see it as a possible place for my grandson to attend. He's only 7, but I never thought I would feel this way.
When you come back, you realize that there's this positive energy there that not every school has. You know, I went undergraduates in different schools, and when you come back here, you see people moving and shaking as Quakers do. They do stuff here. There's you're striving to make the world a little bit better in your own way with your own ideas, and this is a great conference for it because you're able to not only talk about what you've done, but you get to hear about what people have done. And Penn graduates are pretty impressive.
Now I look around at the number of minority students, I listen to them and talk about all of the affinity groups, peer support they get, faculty support.
A lot of the new resource centers that weren't here when we were undergraduates, the Asian American Resource Center, Latin American, all the different resource centers that are on campus now that weren't around, 10 or 15 years ago. It's a really great feeling.
I'm just so thankful of the things that alumni have done and were able to do on the campus and how they paved the way.
Seeing the younger students, seeing the younger alumni, see their experience was different. And it's making me want to become more involved. Because before I wasn't. I went to my 25th, I went to my 10th, but now I want to join things. And I want to become more involved. And that's one of the best things about this whole conference.
I think that's one of the things that is very difficult for people to realize is that there's more than just money you can give to your institution. You can give back your knowledge base of being a graduate of what you're getting ready to deal with, to go and speak on panels, to come back and speak to the students, and to let other people know that just walked in the shoes that you walked in just some years ago, getting longer every year, I guess, but as I get older. But it's really beneficial to come back and support the university, and I was really glad I came back because when you're busy and your career is really starting to move, you start thinking, well, should I come back? And for me, it's been the right choice, and so I'm glad I'm back, and I hope to come back more often.